What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga breakdown review, where today we're going to be reviewing a fan manga entitled Dragon Ball Multiverse, which is a fan-made manga set within its own timeline outside of the main canon of Akira Toriyama and Toei Animation, involving both characters from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, as the overall concept of Dragon Ball Multiverse involves universes from all timelines and dimensions to gather together and battle in one tournament in order to determine which one of the many participating universes competing in this tournament will be the first to obtain the prize of the Dragon Balls for their own personal usage. As for many years now, I've been reviewing and introducing all kinds of Dragon Ball fan mangas to the world created by the community for the community, so if you guys are interested in seeing and reading up on incredible stories and concepts such as Dragon Ball AF, Dragon Ball Legendary, Dragon Ball New Age, Dragon Ball X, and many others, then feel free to check out the Dragon Ball fan manga playlist in the description box for more videos such as this, as right now we are going to be diving into a brand new manga chapter. As before we begin, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to be the first to know when a new video is posted onto this channel, as we kick off Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 38 with the continuation of Zarbon having to interrogate Krillin and Gohan, as Krillin goes on to state, "No, wait, the Dragon Ball, I'll tell you, there, I gave it to," and Gohan's like, "No, don't say a thing," because Zarbon is basically interrogating Gohan and Krillin and trying to figure out where the Dragon Balls are, and more importantly, aside from the Dragon Balls, figuring out who was able to one-shot and kill Dodoria, as Zarbon goes on to state, "Come on, finish your sentence." As Krillin puts his fingers to his forehead, he begins to laugh and using the solar flare, catching Zarbon completely off guard, as Zarbon goes on to cry out, "My eyes, they burn," as Krillin goes on to state, "Effective, but it only works once." Speaking of which, I have another surprise. Kienzan and launches his Destructo Disc, which is essentially a very good plan in this case because Krillin not only managed to completely blind Zarbon, but also manages to slice Zarbon's ribs using the Destructo Disc. And keep in mind, in this story, Vegeta was killed by Krillin in the previous manga chapter, so Vegeta does not exist in this specific arc because he was killed off during the Saiyan arc. And right here we see how Zarbon's infuriated and stating, "You will die," as he begins to transform. Only then, as Zarbon clutches onto his ribs, he shoots out a massive energy blast that swallows the land whole. And this blast is so huge that Zarbon initially thought in stating, they must be dead. Those little monsters, bastards. I need to be treated. The ship. As down below we see Gohan begin to move from the rubble as he emerges unscathed, but it looks like because of the blast being so intense, Gohan goes on to state, I won't let you get away." As Zarbon turns around, he was not expecting for Gohan, out of all people, to survive, as Gohan unleashes the Masenko. And being that Zarbon is hurt, we see how Gohan finally nails him with the Masenko as he comes crashing down to his knees. Gohan is tired, he's huffing, he's puffing. As he looks on over, he immediately rushes towards Krillin's aid because Krillin looks like he's rendered immobile, as Zarbon comes crashing down onto the ground. And as Gohan is grabbing onto Krillin's body, Gohan goes on to plead with Krillin and saying, "Say something, please say something," with Krillin having to state, "Sorry, son," as the final thing we hear by the end of this is Gohan crying out Krillin's name. The next day, we see how Bulma uses one of her flying cars and getting from point A to point B, as Bulma goes on to state, "Looks like I have arrived." As she finally is able to get to the Namekian village, one of the Nameks goes on to state, "How did you find us?" with Bulma having to state, "I followed the signal of the Dragon Ball," as Dende goes on to state, "Please, Gohan needs care." As Dende uses his healing abilities to fully revive Gohan, Gohan stands up and his first words are, "Krillin," as Bulma says, "Already healed?" "Sorry, Gohan." As the narration goes on to state, our heroes summarize the situation to make a plan. Krillin had died, but so had the last of Frieza's soldiers. Bulma had then gone for help from the last Namekians alive, bringing with her the 4-star Dragon Ball. As we see Bulma with Guru, Gohan goes on to state, "We must recover the other Dragon Balls and revive Krillin and Mr. Piccolo and all of our friends." At this point, everyone is beginning to drop like flies. Bulma goes on to state, "Careful, the other balls are with Frieza, and while he's alone, didn't you also say that he's pretty much invincible?" As Gohan replies by stating, "Do you want to wait for Dad to beat him up?" As Bulma says, "Well, on the contrary, by the time that Son Ku arrives, the other guys will surely have been called up for backup. We don't want to kill him, we just want the Dragon Balls. We have the advantage in numbers. He can't keep an eye on them and take care of us at the same time, right?" As Nail states, "I see. It's time for us to act. As Bulma insinuates that indeed they do have the numbers advantage, so all they need to do is basically distract Frieza long enough to gain the Dragon Balls, but only then they have to be very cautious because the Ginyu Force is on their way, as is Son Goku. As the story continues, we see how Nail and Gohan are plotting and getting inside of Frieza's ship and stealing the remaining Dragon Balls, as Gohan goes on to state he's in that vessel, and his power, it's omnipresent. Are you sure that you can handle him, Mr. Nail? As Nail goes on to state, you must be totally discreet. Take your time if necessary. Don't worry about me. As Nail flies off, the initial plan is for them to get inside of Frieza's ship in order for Gohan just to retrieve the Dragon Balls, but then as Nail flies out, he is the one that's going to be creating the distraction, because as soon as he gets above Frieza's ship, he begins to shoot down on the ship, basically creating somewhat of a ruckus for Frieza to essentially be drawn out to Nail, as Nail goes on to state, "Demon, you killed my family, and I will destroy you. You'll regret having brought this senseless slaughter on my people. Now come out." As we see the ship open, Frieza finally emerges. As Frieza is pissed, he goes on to state, "You broke my ship, and it is you who will die, you filthy Namek." As Nail attempts to attack Frieza, Frieza quickly disposes of Nail, as he goes on to state, "Don't count on a quick and easy ending either." As Gohan notices this, the only thing he could do is run inside the ship just so he can retrieve the Dragon Balls and leave, because that is the essential plan. And on the outside, Nail is taking such a beating that Gohan literally only has a few minutes to spare, because Lord knows how long Nail actually has until he croaks in this battle. Gohan is running around the ship stating nothing is there, nothing is here, where is everything? And with this story not including Vegeta is a very interesting take on planet Namek, because we get to see how Nail is unleashing attacks. He begins to fly away, he's trying to outmaneuver Frieza, as Frieza emerges from the dust and debris and stating, "Blinding me to flee? What do you take me for? You dare hope of escaping? I'm not finished with you yet." As Gohan finally finds the Dragon Balls in the ship, Nail begins to hide behind some rocks. As he is spotted, Frieza goes on to state, "You will not escape your fate." As Gohan observes one of the holes in the ship, Gohan goes on to state, "They told me that the balls were quite durable, that I could hit them hard without worrying." Okay, as Gohan begins to kick the Dragon Balls outside of the massive hole outside of Frieza's ship, Frieza can't detect the Dragon Balls because the Dragon Balls don't have any energy to detect. And as Bulma notices this, she goes on to state, "Hey, look, they've started to move," not knowing the fact that they're not essentially moving, they're being kicked by Gohan just for the Dragon Balls not to be within Frieza's possession. As we see each individual Dragon Ball go hurtling out in the air, Gohan goes on to state, "I'll take the last one in hand." And as Bulma begins to drive towards the Dragon Balls, she goes on to state, "Okay, scattered as they are, we are the only ones that can find them. Come on, the first one is due north, let's go." And over back on the battlefield, I really feel bad for Nail, because he's bleeding, he's hurt, he's not saying a word, he's huffing, he's puffing, as Frieza goes on to state, "I'm offering you one chance to live a little longer. Give me the last of the Dragon Balls." And as Nail cuts him off and stating, "The Dragon Balls? You don't understand a thing." As he stands back up, he goes on to state, "You'll never be able to make your wish, demon." As we see Gohan flying away, Nail continues in stating, "The Dragon Balls grant their power only to those who are truly deserving, and those who want to save their friends, not to monsters like you." And that truly triggered Frieza so much, because his final words to Nail were the phrases, "Then die." As he hits Nail with such force, Frieza goes on to state, "I'll have to send for a replacement ship as well." And Zarbon is surely dead. Such incompetence. As Gohan finally gets to Bulma, he holds up the Dragon Ball and stating, "Bulma, Dende, it worked! I have to go back. I have to help Mr. Nail." As Bulma grabs Gohan by the shirt, she goes on to state, "Listen, if you don't follow the plan, I'll smash you, understood?" As Gohan says, "Okay, just sorry." That's when Dende goes on to state, "Don't worry, Gohan, he will escape for sure." As Bulma goes on to state, "Stay with us, Gohan. Once we've made our wish, everything will work out, even for Nail." There are only 3 balls left to take. Okay, I'll let you know if Frieza approaches. As Frieza finally goes back inside of his ship, he goes on to state, good, I can still fly. But what a fool of that Namek. Why did he even try such a hopeless and suicidal attack? These natives are exceedingly stubborn, even when it comes to recognizing a lost cause. As Frieza then notices that the Dragon Balls behind him are completely gone. And Frieza does not take this lightly, because he cries out, no! As Gohan and the others bring the Dragon Balls back to Guru's place, the narration goes on to state, our friends joined the Grand Elder with Frieza's 5 balls. The latter angrily search for them at full speed, but a planet is seemingly large. As Guru goes on to state, Dende, you are going to say the wishes. As finally we see the Eternal Dragon Porunga emerge, Frieza looks on over and stating, what's happening? There is no light on this planet. As they have all the Dragon Balls, I know what this means, but immortality is mine. As Frieza conjures up a massive blast, he goes on to state, and you think you can get away with abusing Lord Frieza like this? You will all die. As Dende goes on to ask Porunga in stating Porunga can only revive 1 person at a time. As Bulma states, huh? Then what are we gonna do? As Piccolo is seen in the other world as he goes on to state, Son Gohan, wish for me to be brought back to life. Kami-sama and his Dragon Balls will be returned as well. With the balls of the earth, we can wish for the revival of all the Namekians at one time. As Bulma says, that's perfect. You know what to ask, right, Dende? As Dende is just about to make the wish, Frieza unleashes his massive death ball in the ground of planet Namek. And right before the initial wish is made, Frieza completely destroys planet Namek. As Frieza's final words go on to state, that'll teach you, as he completely destroys planet Namek as the manga chapter comes to a close. Now this is completely different in comparison to the actual anime because we never saw Super Saiyan Goku actually be a thing. We never saw the arrival of the Ginyu Force. We never really got to see Frieza actually fight, and this is absolutely terrifying because even though Frieza had realized that he had been defeated in the fact that his Dragon Balls were stolen and the wish was just about to be made, he went as far as to sacrifice everything just to make sure that nobody makes the wish. If he can't make the wish, nobody can make the wish. And as seen in the previous manga chapter, this was a very different take on planet Namek, especially with the death of Vegeta and Goku never having to arrive on planet Namek. This is most definitely going to continue in Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 39 that's going to be debuting tomorrow. But leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you guys think of this specific manga chapter? Did you guys agree with Frieza's choice? What are your thoughts on Nail's sacrifice? Post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all once more for watching. If of course you guys are new to this channel and love Dragon Ball, don't forget to punch that subscribe button, enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon, follow me at Twitter at UnrealEntGaming and Instagram at UnrealDBZ. Make sure you guys slap a like down below if you guys enjoyed and leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll be seeing you all in the next Dragon Ball fan manga review. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes, but Jesus Christ, that's huge!